Yeah, very good evening everyone. Am I audible? Very good evening everyone. Am I audible? So, very good evening everyone. The topic which we are going to talk about today is the new crimes under Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. See, now the criminal justice system was guided by the laws which are the Indian Penal Code, Code for Criminal Procedure, and also Indian Evidence Act, right? And recently, from like the laws which have been passed in the Parliament last year, from the July 1st, these laws have come into enactment. They are coming into force. So in this respect, the article is given. The essence of the article mainly talks about the major changes and what are the challenges or the gaps which need to be addressed still, right? So the context of this question or the context of this article is the new criminal laws which came into force from July 1st. So what are these new criminal laws? These new criminal laws are Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita, and the last one is Bharatiya Saksha Adhiniyam. So we have brought these three new laws, and this was replaced by, so IPC, Indian Penal Code, was replaced by Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita was the Code for Criminal Procedure was replaced by Bharatiya Nyaya Suraksha Sanhita, and the Indian Evidence Act, which was with respect to dealing with the evidences. All these came into force, replacing the older laws. So all these were mainly all these were mainly followed, or all these were mainly framed during the British colonial era, right? But with this new introduction, all these new laws, whatever we have talked about, they were framed like in the latest context. Now coming to the answer. So if you look at the PYQ's reference, these are some of the questions which were asked earlier with respect to any new law or the amendment which was brought in the system. In this respect, we have framed this question. So what is the question? Discuss the need for the reforms with respect to the criminal justice system in India. Also enlist the key challenges associated with the newly enacted Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita, and the Bharatiya Saksha Adhiniyam, right? So there are two parts of this question, right? The first part is with respect to the discussing the significance for this need for the reforms, and the second part deals with the challenges which are still need to be addressed, or the gaps which need to be filled with respect to the new laws. So coming to the keyword relevance, here we have two keywords, right? One is discuss and the other one is enlist. So for discussion, what is it? Like mainly you are going to write what is it, what are the main features, or what is it. So in discuss, you have the free hand, whatever you feel are relevant to the paper, relevant to the what you said theme asked. For example, here they discuss the need for the reforms. So you can like point wise quote down what is the main need for each reason, you can quote down, right? With respect to enlist, you just have to list down. You just have to list down the challenges, but you don't need any analysis. Whenever enlist comes, you are just listing down whatever is asked directly, number wise, right? Now, talking about the key concept of the question, as you have talked just now, it is mainly related to the new criminal laws. Mainly related to the new criminal laws. This is the key concept of the question, which have replaced the older colonial laws. Now, what is the kind of introduction you can write? See, the first theme, which is mainly related to the criminal justice system and like need for reforms with the criminal justice system. So you can start with the with current affairs. So the Indian judicial system has said to become has said to undergo a major overhaul with respect to the new laws. With respect to the new laws which were passed last year in the parliament and are coming into force from the July 1st. 2024. So this very simply, like whenever for a current affairs based introduction, you just have to draw your introduction from the current context. The latest context why it was in news, because they started implementing or they started enacting these laws from the 1st July. So for the same reason it's in the news, so that becomes a current affairs based introduction. But definition of the significance based, as I have discussed in the key concept of the question also, the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, and also the Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiniyam, which are to replace the colonial laws of Indian Penal Code for criminal procedure, and at the same time the Indian Evidence Act, are going to replace the British colonial laws, replace the British old colonial laws. And they are specially tailored for the current need, to ensure speedy justice, of delivery, at the same time improve the transparency. You can write such points, right? And what about report based? So for the report based, we have a committee called Madhav Menon committee, which was mainly related to the restorative justice. So you can say we have brought with the new laws, and also there has been a committee constituted in 2006, which is the Madhav Menon committee, which talked about the restorative justice, and there was one more committee which talked about the judicial jurisprudence, right? So report based introduction, you can write that way. Now, as we have talked, there are mainly two parts to this question, right? The first part talks about what was the need for the system, what was the need for the change with respect to these laws. What was the first need? The Indian Penal Code which was there, all the laws were related to all the laws in the IPC. All the laws in the IPC were outdated because they were brought during the colonial era. So all the laws in the IPC, they were outdated mainly due to the colonial era. And with respect to the Criminal Procedure Code or the Code for Criminal Procedure, so if you have known, this is mainly during the 1860s, 80s, 70s. At that time, we didn't have so much technology. So the procedure whichever is there, they didn't consider much digitization or much technological advancement. But now we are more moving towards a digital technology and also a lot of development with respect to IT, right? So there is definitely need for upgradation of this. And thirdly, what is so the Indian Evidence Act which was there, that was not considering, what do you say? The Indian Evidence Act which was there, so there were many delays. Which were happening with respect to the rules, under the Indian Evidence Act, So there was a need for the change with that also. And what are the many other problems which we were facing? Slow police investigation, which will lead to the miscarriage, of justice. At the same time, Supreme Court also interpreted that according to under the Article 21 of Right to Life. So getting proper judicial service or ensuring speedy justice is one of the parts of the right to life. At the same time, there was need to promote the transparency with respect to the judicial system, because the rich who were there, they were getting the justice, they were able to receive justice, or they were able to even create some problems or whatsoever. So what I am trying to say is, there is no equity with respect to the justice delivery, right? So these were, you can write these dimensions. So what are dimensions? We said the first, IPC was outdated. Second, the Criminal Procedure Code, which didn't consider the technology factor, which we have developed quite a lot. and even the Indian Evidence Act was leading to the delay in the justice delivery, right? And also, what do you say, slow police investigation. And next we talked about the Supreme Court's interpretation. And lastly, you can say that because of the under trials, even the jails are getting like crowded, right? A lot of under trials were happening. So for all these reasons, we needed the new laws. For all these reasons, the new laws which we have brought, they are quite significant. They are quite significant for us. So with respect to challenges, so the third dimension we are addressing with respect to the challenges. So what do you think are the new challenges? So the new definition, what is there of sedation? The new definition of sedation is considered to be problematic here. New definition of sedation is going to be problematic here, and it's going to give unlimited powers. It's going to give more powers to the civil authorities. More powers to the civil authorities. Right. What do you think of the other problems? So here, deceitful moods like what do you say? Physical contact with the woman with respect to deceitful means. So this, what do you say? This provision was taken in, but there are criticism. You can say that this can be used against the man even in the case of the consensual sex. Even when the consensual sex happens, this can be used against that man, right? Now, what are the other problems? Many of the provisions which are there, many of the provisions which are related to terrorism and organized crime, they have been lifted from the UAPA. They have been lifted from the UAPA Act, Prevention of Unlawful Activities Act. They have been lifted from the UAPA Act, and the reason was not properly given. The reason was not properly given with respect to it, and many terms. And like what do you say, many terms were given very ambiguous definitions. Many terms were given very ambiguous definitions, which lead to a problem. And also, what do you say, with respect to marital rape, there have been increasing debates with respect to the marital rape in the country for quite a long time, and it could not be able to clear or criminalize the marital rape with respect to that, right? And what do you say, the terms or the provisions with respect to the religion, they should be revisited. They should be revisited with respect to it. And with respect to even the criminal speeches, also, the laws need to be revisited. Right. So these are the challenges which you can write. So we have addressed many dimensions. See, so we have written 7 points from here, and we have written 7 points from this also. So you can write more dimensions if you feel you can add. You can write more dimensions. Right. So what would be a balanced conclusion? You can say the new criminal laws which came into force, the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, and the Bharatiya Sakshi Adhiniyam, they are very much aligned with the present need, very much aligned with the present need, and they will be able to ensure speedy delivery. They will be able to ensure speedy delivery of justice with transparency, minimizing most of the loopholes considering the technological advancement. So this would be a balanced thing. So STG linked, you can just write anything, because whatever advantages we talked about, whatever need we talked about, so mainly we linked it with even the right to life, right? So STG linked, you can use any STG which is related to a good life with respect to the person. And what about the futuristic? So the new laws which are there, that will ensure a transformative shift towards a more efficient. So what we are trying to do mainly, we are trying to increase the efficiency. We are trying to increase the transparency. We are going to ensure speedy justice. And we are trying to minimize the delays, right? We are trying to minimize the delays. And we have, like, what do you say, we have got separate laws for many things. We have got separate laws with respect to chain snatching. We have got separate laws with respect to even the terrorism and the organized crime related aspects. And we have given, like, with respect to this, we have given special attention to the, crimes on the, these people, like, who are vulnerable, crimes on the vulnerable people, like women and children. So we are trying to think. So we can say it has a very futuristic perspective. It has a very futuristic perspective with respect to the laws, right? And the report and index, I have quoted two committees for you. One is the Madhav Menon committee. One is the Madhav Menon committee, which is related to the restorative justice, and the other one is the Malinath committee. Which is related to the judicial jurisprudence and the policies or laws related to it, So this you can quote, right? So we have addressed the keyword. So with respect to the keyword we have addressed, like with respect to discuss, you can just, you are given a free hand, you can write whatever is relevant to the question, and enlist, you just have to enlist or list down the different aspects, right? Then with respect to key concept of the question or the context of the question which is asked, as I have told you, this is with respect to the new criminal laws. Which came into force, and with these criminal laws we have criminalized many things. We have criminalized many aspects. We have criminalized snatching. We have criminalized the deceitful means of obtaining physical benefit from the other opposite gender, and we have tried to give separate laws. Separate laws with respect to the vulnerable groups, and also police were given good powers. Right? And so with these new laws, we have tried to bring many new aspects and address the current challenges. With respect to the judicial system. So current affairs based introduction, as I have told you, it is always based on the context based on the current context in the question. And with respect to the definition, like, it is going to replace the colonial judicial laws, and this is mainly made for in the current context of India, made by the Indians, right? Report based, I have said Malinath committee, and the other committee you can quote. So dimensions also we have seen each 7 dimensions, and you can write more in the challenges. So the main reason for me giving this in the context of the negative aspects is that the features, the changes and all you might be finding everywhere. But I thought it would be good if we discuss the challenges which need to be addressed with respect to the question, right? Yeah. So Monday will come with another editorial. Thank you so much for joining.